All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the March edition. It's hard to believe it's March of the Boca Raton Chamber of Commerce membership breakfast. Shh, if I could get your attention, I know this is a rowdy crowd, but it's actually a little too early to be rowdy. But anyways, welcome, and thank you all for being here. It is so nice to get out in public and be next to our friends and our colleagues. It feels great. I see that light at the end of the tunnel, and looking very much forward to getting there. But as we begin our program this morning, I would like to ask our invocator, Michelle Adams, to come up. Michelle is the Vice President and Market Manager, Center State Bank. She's on the board of the Golden Bell Education Foundation. She's a Leadership Boca Class alumni of 2018. So please help me welcome Michelle Adams.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Tim. It's my pleasure to be here, and I'm honored to lead this morning's prayer. Please join me as we give thanks and reflect on our many blessings. Let us pray. Dear Lord, thank you for this beautiful day and for the opportunity to gather with our fellow members and community leaders. We pray for the strength and guidance to help us make the right decisions in our professional and personal lives so that we can create a positive impact in our community and for our families. Please help us to be kind and compassionate and offer support and encouragement to one another. And for those that are sick or suffering, we pray for their healing and comfort. For the frontline heroes and volunteers that work tirelessly, we pray for their safety and endurance. And for elected officials and leaders, please give them the guidance and vision necessary to navigate these difficult times to help our communities recover. And bless this food we are about to eat. Thank you, Lord. Amen. Now please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate that. With that in mind, let's ask Michael Daskell to come up to the microphone for any comments that he might have. Michael?
Well, good morning, everybody. Not too many comments, but I think we have a great group today, and a lot of people are here for the first time in a while, and we've got a sold-out room, it looks like, so thank you, everybody, for coming out. And thank you, Andrea, for being here today. You know, Boca Raton is such a special place. I've lived here for 33 years, or maybe 35 years by now, and you definitely will put us deeper on the map if we can pull this off. And it's such an awesome, exciting project. I can't wait to hear a little bit more about it. So here we are, a year into coronavirus, and the light is shining brightly on, hopefully, closer to the end. And people get their shots and they come out. I love it. I'm too young. I can't get a shot yet. But there's got to be a way to do it, because everybody I talk to has already have it who's under 65. So just patiently wait my turn. That's it. Really, also want to congratulate the city council members on the vote. And I think we're going to have a very nice, cohesive city council. And you guys do an enormous amount of hard work at slave wages, and you guys probably are highly underappreciated. So congratulations on the vote to Monica Mayotte and Yvette Drucker, and whatever the Boca Chamber can do to work with the city on, on business issues and life issues, from Troy down to the board. We're definitely interested in doing that. And thanks for always being here and supporting us as well, and as well as our county commissioners that are here today. So that's about it. It's great to see everybody, and enjoy the morning, and look forward to hearing from Andrea. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Good morning. I'm Sarah Pearson, Executive Vice President of the Boca Chamber, and on behalf of our President and CEO, Troy McClellan, welcome to our March membership breakfast. And what a great way to start the morning, here at the award-winning Marriott, with 100 of my closest friends and bacon-wrapped asparagus. Thank you, Ron. That was his menu, so if you like it, wish him a happy birthday and thank him for that. We do have a great program for you this morning, sponsored by Andrea Virgin Designs, and the Boca Raton Center for Arts and Innovation. I do hope you're as excited as I am to hear about the amazing Center for the Arts coming to our beautiful city. And I do want to recognize Patricia's here. She's also a part of Virgin Designs and mom of Andrea Virgin. So thank you, Patricia. She should have been on that VIP list for sure. So before we continue with the program, I do have a few announcements to make, but I promise they'll be short. First, Festival of the Arts. It's in full swing and will run through March 14th. Although it's a little different from the past 14 years, this year's festival features amazing talent from Met Opera sensation and Boca native Nadine Sierra, to Grammy Award winner violinist James Enns, to authors and more. All their events are being streamed online for free from iconic locations showcasing the beauty and magic of Boca Raton. So I do encourage you to support this major event right here in our beautiful city. We are in week 2 of the Florida legislative session. The Florida House passed the Business COVID-19 Liability Protections Bill with a bipartisan vote. Other COVID-19 protection legislation continues to be discussed before the legislature this week. We are hard at work advocating for the passage of these important bills and fighting for the protection of our member businesses, your businesses. We will continue to keep you updated on important decisions being made in Tallahassee. And moving from Tallahassee to Washington, D.C., if you're interested in hearing from our friends at the U.S. Chamber regarding movement from our congressional leaders, make sure to join us today via Zoom for our Government Affairs Committee meeting at 11:30. You could still register for that. Just go up to our calendar or go on the app and register. We're going to hear from Moore Hallmark, who's the Vice President of Regional Affairs and Advocacy for the U.S. Chamber. So I think it'll be a very, very interesting meeting, and you can ask questions, too. Okay, that's enough from me, except to say that the Boca Chamber exists to promote and sustain economic prosperity in Boca Raton and South Palm Beach County. We come to work every day with the goal of connecting members, advancing commerce, protecting your business, and enhancing our community. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your partnership. Thank you for your support. And thank you for allowing me and the entire Chamber team to work on your behalf. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. It's now my pleasure to introduce our sponsor for this morning's breakfast, Andrea Virgin, President of the Boca Raton Center for Arts and Innovation. Andrea is a rare breed, a professional ballerina turned land developer engineer. After nearly 20 years of working in both commercial real estate and the performing arts, she decided to combine both her passions with the love of her community in order to fill the cultural gap in Boca Raton that she has known firsthand has existed for decades. Andrea was raised right here in Boca Raton. In addition to her academic education, Andrea trained at Boca Ballet Theater and Herod Conservatory to become a professional ballerina, ultimately dancing with both the Houston Ballet and Ballet Florida. Amidst her full schedule, Andrea also made a point of enrolling full-time as a college student for her second career as a civil engineer. Upon graduation from FAU and Cornell, she swapped her point shoes for a hard hat and began working for large design companies, using her creative side to design projects such as Park Place in Boca Raton that would change the landscape of cities in South Florida. In January 2018, Andrea started her own firm, Virgin Design, right here in Boca. Simultaneously, Andrea joined the board of directors at Boca Ballet Theater, where the concept of envisioning and ultimately developing a performance arts center in Boca Raton was born. Since then, the combination of her past experience, relationships with arts and cultural organizations, and connections in the world of commercial real estate have taken this vision to a point where approximately $1.5 million in both seed money and in-kind services have been donated. Major stakeholders have gathered together. Some of the world's best consultants have been engaged. A unanimous consensus of support for a long-term ground lease at Meisner Park has been given by the City Council, and promising discussions for major philanthropic support have begun to materialize. Andrea currently sits as the president of the board of the 501c3 nonprofit organization behind the vision and looks forward to bringing Boca Raton world-class performance and exhibition venues that mirror our world-class city. So help me welcome Andrea Virgin to the dais.
Thank you, Tim, and thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for providing us with this opportunity to be here with you all today. This project is an exciting one, and we're really excited to be able to share actually a brand new update. This is information we have not shared before, so we're excited to be here with you today to share it. At your seats, we have a wonderful program. In addition to the fact that this mirrors the presentation you're going to be taking the time to listen to today, you can take this also home with you, and it also mirrors what a program actually looks like when you go to a performing arts center. There's a lot of useful information in here, so follow along, and there's a place at the end for notes. On behalf of Patricia Ramuto, our co-founder at Virgin Design, we thank you for this opportunity to be here, and we're very grateful that we could sponsor the Boca Raton Center for Arts and Innovation as a highlight to this morning. So Virgin Design is a full-service engineering firm that has projects all over South Florida area, through the Tri-County area. And as mentioned, in Boca Raton, I was personally the engineer of record for the Park Place Altice mixed-use development right off of Military Trail, just north of Yamato. And we're actually starting the Palmetto Square, the old Kmart Plaza's redevelopment. So you'll be hearing more about that project later on this year. The name Virgin Design was created for many very important reasons. And I'd like to highlight that because it has context for the presentation you'll see today. So first, Virgin Design, the name Virgin is in honor of my late husband. He was an incredible commercial real estate developer who, after graduating from Cornell University, he convinced me to kind of come back to the home that we have always had here in Boca Raton. We grew up here. And he wanted to change the landscape of this region where he grew up, and to change and have an impact on the landscape of the city that we have always called home. And so we're really excited about that legacy kind of being played into the project you'll hear about in a moment. Also, Virgin Design was contemplated, that name was contemplated for the way that we treat our clients and our projects, that we treat each one uniquely, individually, that no client, no project is the same. We don't take a cookie-cutter approach when it comes to designing. I think that is representative of every industry. We should take that kind of unique first-hand look. And so Virgin kind of has a nod to that. And lastly, to be fresh and new, and to be innovative and thinking outside of the box. We talked about how I'm a crossbreed between a former performer and now someone who's very analytical as a civil engineer. More importantly than ever, any industry that we're in has to take kind of that innovative approach, and having that cross-section between creativity and the tech world is becoming more apparent every day. So talking about being fresh and new, entrepreneurship is a resonating topic with almost everyone in this room. As businesses, whether you started your business or you are a part of a business, you all started with a fresh idea, right? Every major company, every major idea, every major product started with just an idea. And that's how this project that we're going to talk about started. It started off in the boardroom at Boca Ballet Theater as an idea. It's been a long time desired need, but it needed to start somewhere. And so 3 individuals, myself included, got together and said we needed to do this. We needed to infill cultural infrastructure in Boca Raton. So applying my background of kind of creativity and my land development experience was very helpful in spearheading that effort. And since then, thanks to Tim for explaining the evolution of it, we have come to a very beautiful place, which this presentation will highlight. We have been able to make this project happen not just through the first 3 individuals, and certainly not just me. And so I'd like to take a moment to thank the individuals that have helped make this project happen. First and foremost, our board of directors. I said we started off with 3, we are now 9. I sit as president. We have Kelly DeMaria as our treasurer. Heidi Boncher is our secretary. Patricia Kilgallen, a director. The other directors are Elizabeth Dudley, who's right here with us today, Roger Stein, Stephen Giaccona, represented here by Marianne from Roundtable Wealth Management, Dan Guin as our advisory board chair, and John Tolbert, who I was really excited was going to be here, but he's got a lot of really difficult, flooding issues there in Hawaii. He sits as our advisory board vice chair. To our founders, many of which are here with us today, and I'd like to acknowledge the fact that this project would not be here without funding. We had a year's worth of work of in-kind services from our amazing consultants, but after a year, I think nobody's going to want to work for free, and so our founders are the donors behind the project and that have made this project happen. Our anonymous first donor, the Boca Raton, who is one of our amazing corporate sponsors, Heidi Boncher and Joel White, Carlos and Cecilia Chinchilla, who is here with us today, Kelly DeMaria, Elizabeth Dudley, Marlene Forkas, Stephen Giaccona, represented here by Marianne, Patricia and Paul Kilgown, who are listening virtually, George and Jennifer Leggetti, Shaw and Laura McCutcheon, PEB Enterprises, Patricia Ramuto, also with us today, Laurel Rahm, Goldman Sachs, Edith and Martin Stein Family Foundation, Roger and Elena Stein, myself, I've put in my own capital into this, and Amanda Weiner. For all of them, we thank you all because we would not be here without their generosity. I'd also like to thank our advisory board, to our advisory board and to our consultants. Our advisory board also pay into this project. They represent the local cultural organizations, they represent the local businesses in this community, and the stakeholders who will stand to benefit from this project. There are also people who are dedicating very generous in-kind services through their businesses towards this project, and I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge them now. To Baptist Health South Florida, who is looking to work with us as our corporate health sponsor. Michelle is listening in virtually. Brookfield Properties, the Herod Conservatory, Boca Ballet Theater, Daskell Bolton, the Symphonia, Boca Raton Museum of Art, Garcia Stromberg, the Rossi Group. Thank you, Ryan, for being here with us today. Boca Raton Theater Group, Meisner Park Cultural Arts Association, represented by Peg Anderson, who's here with us today. The Youth Orchestra of Palm Beach County, the Boca Raton, the Spring Business Solutions, Biore Hotels and Resorts through John Tolbert, Stark Weber helping us in-kind review contracts. Avram and Associates is coming in as our surveyor. Door-to-Door Strategies for their political consulting. Gunster Legal Services, thank you Gunster, who's on the board here at the Chamber. DeVos Institute of Arts Management out of University of Maryland. IBI Group, who's responsible for this incredible architecture you're going to be seeing in a moment. JMD Engineering for traffic and parking. OGK Creative, the most amazing marketing and advertising firm, helping us make all this look so beautiful. Sorrell Phillips, who did our economic impact study, and Walter Duke, who did our commercial appraisal. So I share all those names, and I know that's a lot to get through, but this project is more than one person, more than just a few people, more than just a few dollars. This is an incredible team and effort that is behind it, and I think that when you see what's coming up, you'll see why. I think a lot of people in this room have not yet really gotten to see a full breadth of what this project's about. Maybe you've heard rumblings, maybe you've seen news articles, but there is a lot of information behind what you've seen there. And instead of me trying to explain it breathlessly to cover 4 years worth of work, I think what's probably easier is that we share a video with you to give you some context about what this project is about before we move forward.
It's time to step into the center, the place where art and innovation meet, where tradition and technology blend into a rebirth of beauty and function and sustainability. Step into the center of transformation, where community access leads to inspiration, where versatility enables your imagination, where the pillars of the past uphold the dreams of tomorrow and shape the landscape of today. Step into the center that was promised to you and that has been designed for you, no matter who you are. The focal point of the new center is a distinct multi-form main theater that accommodates up to 1,100 patrons and is optimized with advanced video projection and sound technology. Patrons will enter from a reimagined 5th Street Promenade and a new 6th-level parking garage on their way to experiencing world-class cultural performances and events. The raising of an innovative structural curtain signals the transformation of the amphitheater stage into an additional climate-controlled performance, event, and immersive media space that seats up to 450 attendees. In its traditional configuration, the amphitheater will continue to serve 3,500 patrons, allowing for open seating and free pedestrian flow under the shade of an iconic canopy feature. The entry to the center will feature an innovation plaza for outdoor cultural performances and events, located next to an incubator, workshop, and makerspace with an adjoining cafe storefront. A signature freestanding staircase connects the plaza level with cloud corridors and leads to the main theater's balcony level. The shape-shifting architecture of the main theater enables several layouts, including retractable seating, for a flexible flat floor configuration, allowing for galas, corporate events, and conventions focused on the creative industries. The center also features a large rehearsal studio that converts into a 99-seat jewel-box performance and event space and is adaptable as a banquet or conference room for private functions. Finally, an outdoor lobby and rooftop terrace provides space for performances, corporate networking events, and a casual environment where the community can gather. Built on a plan that means business, the center as a whole will drive over 500,000 new annual visitors to Boca Raton, securing more than 12,000 jobs, producing over $240 million in local spending, and infusing major overall economic impact into our community. This center will be the starting point of Boca Raton's next chapter of vision and growth and is a sum much greater than its parts.
A complete arts center in Meisner Park will fulfill the city's promise to its residents.
To provide a venue that mirrors this city and the quality of arts organizations that I support.
And allow a space that is inviting, open, and accessible to my family and our community.
This center will elevate all of our cultural organizations,
as well as ensure that our city is known as a beacon for art and culture.
This innovative and multi-purpose space will stimulate $1.3 billion in overall economic activity in our community.
And provide the perfect launchpad for world leaders, entrepreneurs, innovators, and the curious and creative class to express their voice, providing millions of room nights to hotels like the Boca Raton.
This iconic destination will provide people a reason to explore the shops and restaurants that Meisner Park has to offer,
which help keep us downtown tenants busy and happy.
This one-of-a-kind venue will provide a desirable amenity for our tourists visiting the Mandarin Oriental,
and will further enable those who've relocated to this area from around the nation to call this city home.
This center will breathe fresh life into the cultural appeal here in Palm Beach County,
and serve as a venue for community events that will build a more vibrant community within our downtown.
This center is
the center that was promised.
The center of experience.
The center of accessibility.
The center for creation.
The center for art and culture.
The center for business.
The center of innovation.
The center of the future.
The center we need.
The center for tourism.
The center of desirability.
the center of our legacy.
The center that unites us all.
Discover your center here at the Boca Raton Center for Arts and Innovation. I want to take a moment to recognize that a lot of people that are in that video are sitting here in this room today. I think you can start to sense the theme behind this whole presentation is economic development. This Chamber of Commerce has an incredible, backing group represented clearly here by the sold-out audience, and how this center is really poised to be able to kind of benefit every single business, every single person in this room and beyond. And so I thank all those who participated in the video to share each
of those angles here within our community and beyond, and how this project is really going to impact that. I want to talk kind of on a macro level and then zero in on a micro level about how this center really can set waves here in our economy. When you think about where we were a year ago, which today marks the 1 year since the World Health Organization considered COVID-19 a pandemic. It's incredible we're sitting here a year later, and you reflect on the fact of the last year and all of the physical, health-wise, obviously, and otherwise, impacts, the emotional impacts, the social impacts, and certainly, as everyone knows in this room, the economic impacts of COVID-19 and what that's done to our world and how that's shaken things up. It's obviously very difficult to reflect back on where we all were for the last year. But just as there's always a dawn of a new day, and after every storm comes a rainbow, the light at the end of the tunnel is approaching. So as much as we've had all of these very difficult challenges and issues, what are we doing to look ahead and be prepared for what we like to call it the next roaring 20s, right? So if you think about the Spanish flu in 1918 to 1920, after that came the roaring 20s, and here we are almost exactly a century later, approaching what I can only imagine will be this huge pent-up demand for human connection, to get back together, to get back to socializing, to get back to spending money in our local economy. And how can we as a community really be thinking ahead about what that surge is going to be like, and how restaurants will be impacted by that surge of wanting to get back together, how local businesses, brick and mortar, people want to get out of their houses, they're sick of being pent up at home. And so we're approaching that dawn of a new day, and how can we poise ourselves and position ourselves to be ready for that. In addition, art in the way that it is consumed, really any form of entertainment in the way that it's consumed today, has not only been changing as an evolution with things like Netflix and Hulu, but the pandemic has made us all realize how easy it is to stay at home and sit on our couch and order takeout and not leave, the comfort of home. And as much as there's this pent-up demand to get out there and do things, we have realized how convenient it is to stay at home. So in addition to how that impacts our restaurants and how that impacts tourism and how that impacts a slew of other things when it comes to the local economy, it has impacts also with the arts. So traditional performing arts, when you think of that, is ballet. We have a wonderful symphonic group, the Symphonia here. When it comes to theater, we have to fight the urge to not want to have to get off our couch, buy a ticket, get in the car, drive through traffic, get through downtown, park your car, get in, watch whatever it was you were going to watch, and then reverse that all the way on the way back home. And that has a huge impact, not just on the performing arts, but it has a huge impact on the restaurants where people go out to eat before and after. The bars where someone could have a drink afterwards, or coffee shop afterwards. How that impacts the brick and mortar around those performing arts centers where someone might go shopping before or after. So it's not only impactful for the performing arts to be thinking innovatively, but also as a local economy, as local businesses. And so the way that art is being consumed is changing, because we have to fight more than ever against a Hulu and a Netflix and all that streaming media that you can have conveniently at your fingertips at home. In a moment, I'm going to be sharing a video of what that means, because it's very hard to describe in words, much like most of the performing arts. How art is changing. It's being consumed in a much more interactive, immersive manner. Digital immersive media experiences are on the rise. You can think of examples like Super Blue in Miami. You can think of Meta.is. In Paris, New York, Shanghai, all over the world is this type of art that is immersive, so that people cannot experience that from the comfort of home. You have to go out, you have to go into wherever these venues are, and there's only, I can count on maybe 2 sets of hands how many of these exist in the world, and Boca Raton is potentially having one of those. And so I'll walk you through in a moment what that actually feels like. And then when you think about, on a macro level, what's happening in our country, people are relocating out of urban areas like crazy, out of New York, LA, Chicago, and they are coming to places like here in South Florida. We've seen that in a huge way. Texas, and other very attractive places for the taxes and the weather. But when they get here, what does that mean for them when they're leaving the amenities of New York City and Chicago and LA? What are we welcoming them with besides taxes and weather? Arts and culture is a huge factor of those places, and so how do we position ourselves to kind of compete against that race of people moving to our city? So before I begin to kind of zero in on what that means for us locally as a city, I kind of want to walk you through a video that talks about digital immersive media and what that means, because I think a lot of people haven't maybe seen that. So I'm going to play a video here just a moment just to share that with you. I think that's a pretty powerful video. If you've never seen immersive digital media, that is something that obviously clearly cannot be explained in words, right? Unless you've been to one of these venues that can do this, you probably would never imagine what I would say would ever represent what you've seen in that video. As you saw in the previous video, this center is very different than your traditional performing arts center. Theaters of the past were built very single purpose, single use. This center is the opposite of that, very multi-purpose, multi-use, and that's done for many reasons. One is, like I said, to compete with the eyes and to compete with the people that are yearning for that type of an immersive media experience. But on top of that, it's a very sustainable model, right? Traditional performing arts centers are really used nights and weekends. This center will largely be used pretty much every moment of the day, all year long, because of its ability to do things like these experiences, to be able to house product launches. You saw there a vehicle product launch. You can do that here. In the video, you saw how the seats can suppress. Well, that's just one configuration. You can have traditional proscenium. You can suppress all the seats underground. You can move them to the side and do a custom-made fashion show stage. And then with all of that amazing digital media technology, you can really elevate anything from, let's say the chamber wants to throw a party there, and you can do a summit. You can do MIT Media Lab, which takes residency in venues to do research and development on this type of technology, can take residency for 2 weeks in the center. So the applications of what this center can do, if your imagination can come up with it, this center can accommodate that. So how does that play in with not just being something that nights and weekends allows for activity, but all day, all year long? So looking at Boca on a local level, we are in this incredible relocation race against Miami-Dade County. What are we doing to really attract people, not only to Palm Beach County, but here in South County, in Boca Raton? We've got a lot of real strategic moves being played here where we're investing in capital infrastructure. You've got Boca Raton Innovation Campus making its upgrades. The Boca Raton, through the resort, is making all of their upgrades. Mandarin Oriental, we've got the Brightline station coming here. We have an Office of Innovation starting here in the city of Boca Raton. So all of this really great infrastructure is being put into our city, but we still need something like this to generate the foot traffic that takes people not just on Brightline and away from our city, but onto Brightline and to come to our city, to come to the newly improved Boca Resort or Boca Raton, the upcoming Mandarin Oriental, to come into Meisner Park, of which is our center of gravity and needs that kind of infilling, that kind of rebirth, because it really needs a shot in the arm right now. If you've seen Meisner Park, it's had its ebbs and flows, but we're really coming to a point where it needs something like this to regenerize not only Meisner Park, but our downtown overall and all of your businesses as well. And talking about business, we all have a story to tell, attracting an audience to be able to share that story. And so the influx of new visitors and tourists that this center will generate will not only support the local businesses that already exist here, but the ones that want to come here, headquarters that want to move here, new stores and restaurants that want to open up here. They need foot traffic, and a center like this will support it. And so I want to kind of leave you with a few questions. There is a note section at the back if you wanted to jot some thoughts and ideas down. There's also a QR code there. You can share your thoughts through a picture and tag us if you want. But there's a few questions that come to mind. And so I want to kind of direct your thought process behind this. In the new Gold Coast, will Boca be a point of origin or a destination for cultural tourists, businesses, and the retail hospitality dollars that generates? Is that what Boca wants to be? And so if not that, if not this center, then what? If we are to leave that north end of Meisner Park alone and leave it the way it's been. It has great programming through the city of Boca Raton, which we of course cherish and would be, moving forward to work with and enhance that with the city. But there's that vacant parcel. Are we to just leave it there? Commercial development has not been tenable there, and so do we leave that north end the way it is, or do we really embark on this vision? And we can't do that alone. We need every single person in this room to kind of help shoulder the boulder, as they say, and to get really behind it. And I mean that in the way of advocacy. The center will stand to benefit every single person in this room, and we need your advocacy in order to kind of continue to propel that forward momentum forward. And so, so I leave you with that question. If not this, then what? And if you want this, then to certainly voice it, because this center is really meant to be a center for not only arts and culture, but for the performing arts, for public space, for experience, for exhibitions, for tourism and hospitality, education, technology, innovation, jobs, the community at large, and overall economic impact. And so I thank you very much for your attention today. I hope I've left you with kind of an inspiration of what Boca can be and how that stands to benefit everybody in this room. And I welcome you to join us in this effort. Please follow us on all the kind of abilities to follow people these days. Check out our website. We have social media handles where we have a lot of updates and content there as well. And most importantly, if you love what you saw here today and you want to support it, make sure you let our wonderful elected officials know. We have many of them here in this room, and continue to just follow the story, and hopefully we can bring you a center for the next century. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Andrea. What a great vision. Thank you for your leadership on this. This is going to be just an amazing addition to our city, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing this come to reality. It's what a special thing for our city. What a great thing. All right, again, I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank Andrea and her presentation and all the people that are behind the scenes working on this very important project. I know that it takes a community to back something like this, and so let's all get behind it and drive it forward. Again, thank you all. Have a great rest of your week and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.